Today, I'm on a mission to make the Bronco Raptor as wide as my Jeep Rubicon 392. So right now, the Jeep is 87.5 inches wide from the edge of the tire to the other edge of the tire. So let's see where the Bronco Raptor measures up stock. And right now the Bronco in stock configuration is already at 85 inches of total width. Well, if you guys have been watching the channel for any length of time, you should have been able to guess we are going to add spacers to the Bronco Raptor. Now, I've added spacers to a lot of my vehicles in the past, as you guys have seen, and most of those have been from KSP wheel spacers. Now, for these, I had to go back with KSP because, in all honesty, I've just had such good luck with their product. Now, one thing I did learn in the process of getting these in is that the Bronco and the Bronco Raptor have a different bolt pattern. So these are 6x135 for the Bronco Raptor, and then the ones for the standard Bronco are going to be 6x139. That's something to keep in mind if you order some for yourself. There is a difference there. The Bronco Raptor has the same bolt pattern as the F-150. Now, of course, these come with really nice packaging, and it's kind of crazy just looking at these being a Jeep guy because we're so used to the 5-lug, and with 5-lug, the spacers are considerably smaller. So with this 6-lug, it actually looks pretty big and pretty beefy. Now, with all of KSP's wheel spacers, they are going to be T6 aircraft grade aluminum, so they're really tough, they're really robust. Now let's throw them on and see what the difference really looks like. Now, as you can tell, whenever it's stock, the offset is not aggressive at all. Everything is going to be inside the fender flare right there. It gets close to the edge, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not sticking out past it. And of course, that's pretty much what fender flares are there to do, to cover up the tire, at least from the factory. I just like my stuff to stick out a little bit further. Same thing from the back. It's even more of a flush fit for the back. You can tell that it doesn't stick out any at all, but it's very, very flush. And now we can throw our first one on. Oh my gosh, it fits like a glove right on the actual hub. It's absolutely perfect. That's awesome. So now I'm going to go ahead and tighten up this spacer. Now, you can use Loctite, and that is recommended if you're going to use these forever. Now I'm going to use my torque wrench on these and actually tighten it up to right at about 100 foot-pounds of torque. And it literally couldn't be any more simple. Now we've already got them all tightened up, and now we can throw the wheel and tire back on. And now you can see where it is with the spacer on. Just poked out ever so slightly past the fender flare there versus stock, where it is all completely inside. Now let's go ahead and knock out the rest of these. Now we've got the front and the rear on the driver's side, and I swear that poke is just enough. Literally for anybody. I think they should have came with this offset from the factory. As you can tell, they're almost perfectly flush. They stick out just enough past the fender flare so you can kind of tell. And the same thing for the back there. They stick out just enough. And then if you look at this side right here, you can tell that they're all completely in. Now we've got all four corners done, and I've got to say I'm super impressed with how this turned out. Now, as you guys could already tell from looking at just this side, it looked quite a bit wider. But now with the whole picture together, it just looks perfect. I really think that it should have came like this from the factory. But now I'm going to measure it out to see how much width we really gained. Keep in mind, these are 1.5 inch spacers, so we should have gained right at 3 inches of overall width. But let's measure it to be sure. We're right over 87 inches in overall width, so I believe we're still right maybe 1/4 inch under the Rubicon 392, but we're almost right at the same width as the Rubicon 392 at 87, and I believe it was 87.5 inches wide, whereas this is right at 87.25. So there may be a 1/4 inch difference between these two. And keep in mind, this is still the factory wheel and tire setup, just with that 1.5 inch spacer. A huge thank you to KSP for sending out that spacer kit. It really made the Bronco Raptor look so much different. If you guys want to get a set for yourself, go down in the link in the description below and check them out. Now, I don't believe we're going to have any clearance issues with these 1.5-inch spacers, but I'm going to take it down the street and make sure we don't have any issues at all actually driving it down the road. But as soon as we get back, we're going to be installing the all-new Novasight 2-inch LED pod lights right here on the cow. I'm actually waiting for the cow mount for the LED pods from Turnoff Road, but right now they're out of stock. So whenever they come back in stock, they're going to send one out. But today we're going to mount it up with just the brackets that Novasight provides. Well, we made it back and there was no clearance issues at all. You literally couldn't tell it was any different. It just looked quite a bit wider. So I'm super happy with how those turned out. But now we're going to be testing out the Novasight 2-inch pod lights. And I'll be honest with you guys, I typically run 4-inch pod lights on pretty much everything. But whenever these came out, to be honest, my first thought was these would be perfect for the jet ski, because they have a few unique mounting solutions to where I could probably mount them on the jet ski really easily. Now, these are going to be small compared to the traditional setups that I've used, but I'm sure with Novasight they'll be plenty broad enough to make up for their lack in size. And it'll be a really slick look if it all mounts up the way I'm planning. Now, for what we've got inside, of course, we've got one LED, and then we've got our other pod right here, quick disconnect connections right here, our switch. And something special about these is you can use white light, amber light, or a mixture of both. So these will be great for cutting through fog or snow, whatever the case may be. But we've got that switch that'll control all of that. We got our little box module right here, some hardware, and then we've got some brackets right here. We've got one circular style right here, which should make it really easy if you wanted to mount it to like a handlebar. They're traditional style mounts right here, which I'll be using today. And of course, we've got two of each. Now, before we get too carried away, let's actually see if this mounting solution is going to work. So essentially, that's how it'll look all mounted up. And I've got to say, that is a really good and sleek design. I love how small it is right here, because the way that these mirror mounts are actually made, they already stick up so much. On the Jeep, the cow mount would be flush here, and then it'd be mounted above it. So I think this actually may be the absolute best solution. That way it doesn't impede any of your visibility or just annoy you because you can see it. Now, a little behind the scenes look, we're also using the Novasight work light right here. It's what I use for my studio light, and also their new work light tripod. So it makes it a whole lot easier for me to position that light exactly where I need it while I'm filming stuff like this or just working on cars late at night. As you guys have been able to tell, a lot of my videos here recently have been from late at night. So this thing has been coming in handy time and time again. Now let's figure out how we're gonna wire these up. So I'm going to run the wires in right there from that side, right there from that side. We'll have our module in the middle, and they'll have to figure out a way to get it all the way back inside. So it looks like to get access to what I'm trying to do, I'm actually going to have to take this door off, which kind of sucks, but hopefully that'll get everything routed correctly. So what I'm trying to do is find a passageway through here, because that's going to be our only chance at actually finding a way that this can work with the current wiring setup. Well, I can't think of any other way to route this, so I'm just going to tape this to the end of a stick, and then I'll be able to untape it on the other side, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get it to go where I need it to go. Well, I've got all those connected now, so let's see if these are actually going to work. Whoa, that's the yellow light. That's the white and yellow light. Whoa. And they're definitely going to work. So let's go ahead and see if we can get all this tightened down to mount up. These lights are so bright. I was not expecting that. For this one, the way that I've got it mounted, I actually had to remove my antenna. I had a little stubby antenna right here. So we're actually going to have to remove that to get this to fit without having the brackets. I could move it over to that one right here, but I just don't like it as much there. So for that, we'll just leave it like that until those new mounts come in. The way that everything's situated, it should fit right under the hood line right here pretty good. But I'm going to go ahead and snug everything up, and we'll find out for sure. So now I've got everything wired, and that is completely done. So obviously we've got it here. We've got it nested in right there. And then I took off the extension going to this pod light right here because we didn't need it. Ran this extension all the way across. You could have used 2 if you wanted to. And then we've got this one mounted up right there. I haven't got them tightened down yet. I wanted to get the wiring done first. And then to get the switch on the inside, I ran it through right there. It comes through on this. Got a little extra slack, that way the door can shut right here. And then I've just got it mounted right here with a zip tie on this bracket because I didn't find a place that I really wanted to screw it into yet. So for now, I've just got it zip tied. And as you can tell, we've got the different modes you can select right here. Makes it really easy. And we're going to go test it out in just a second in the dark. But for now, I'm going to get all these tightened down and throw this door back on. So this is what they look like all mounted up. And I've got to say, without having specific cowl mounts, this is pretty impressive. I think it's a super sleek look. And it's kind of hard to notice them unless you know exactly what you're looking for. But that's enough about how they look. Let's go see how they perform. All right, so there's the normal headlights. This is the white light. Whoa. You can see so much more. Oh my gosh. Here's just the amber. Considerably better. Whoa. Those lights for 2-inch pods are absolutely insane. That is absolutely crazy. How are 2-inch pods that bright? And whenever I've just got the white light on, you can tell it's not that bad from inside in terms of how much it's actually lighting up on the actual hood. Wow. Super impressed. Oh my goodness. Here's gonna be a look at it while we're actually looking at the house. I'm gonna turn the headlights off and just leave the park lights on. So this is the white light. And then this is the amber light. Wow. That looks pretty good. I think I do need to angle one of these up a little bit. The right side, I think I need to angle it up. And there's both. And then there is the flashes that it'll do, which is crazy. Yeah, I need to angle this side up just a little bit. Well, now that it's all done, I couldn't be happier. Those spacers from KSP made a massive, massive difference. And of course, Novasight came through with some awesome lights again. Like I've already told you guys, check them out. The links are down in the description below. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until then, Godspeed.